Hello, and a very warm welcome to everyone tuning in to Go Slow English. I am your host, Zara, and I am absolutely thrilled to have you with us today for another episode where we take things at a comfortable pace.
And hi from me too. I'm Leo, and it's wonderful to be back in the studio. I've been looking forward to this session all week.
Me too, Leo. Actually, before we get started, I have to ask, is that a new thermos you have there? It looks very high-tech.
Oh, this? Good eye. Yes, I finally gave in and bought one of those temperature-controlled flasks. I was tired of my coffee getting cold halfway through the morning. You know how it is when you get caught up in a project and suddenly your latte is more like a gazpacho.
I know that feeling all too well. I usually end up microwaving mine 3 times before noon. Is the new flask working out for you?
It's a game changer, honestly. It keeps it at exactly 65 degrees. It's the little things in life, right? A hot cup of coffee on a rainy Tuesday.
It really is. And it's quite gray outside today, isn't it? I was looking at the clouds this morning, wondering if I should bring my heavy coat.
I did the same. The sky looks quite indecisive. It's that classic shoulder season weather where you just aren't sure what's going to happen.
Exactly. It's that uncertainty that actually leads us perfectly into our topic for today. We are going to be discussing how to navigate uncertainty in English, specifically focusing on how to use may and might. Today's episode is all about those 2 tricky modal verbs, may and might. These are essential tools for any English learner because they allow us to express possibility, give permission, and even talk about things that didn't happen in the past. Leo, I find that many students use them interchangeably, but there are some subtle differences, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, Zara. In modern casual English, they often function as synonyms when we talk about possibility. If I say, it may rain or it might rain, most people will understand the same thing. However, if we want to be precise, and especially if we are writing or speaking in a more formal context, there are nuances that can really elevate your English. Historically, might suggest a slightly lower probability than may. So if you're quite unsure, might is your best friend.
That's a great starting point. I like to think of it on a sliding scale of 1 to 100. If something is a 50% chance, may feels right. If it's more like a 30% chance, might fits better. But let's look at another use case, permission. This is where may really shines in formal settings. For example, may I come in sounds much more polite than can I come in?
Wait, really? I remember being told in school that can is for ability and may is for permission. Is that still a strict rule? I feel like I hear people say can I all the time now.
You're right, Leo. In casual conversation, can I borrow your pen is perfectly fine. But in a professional environment or when you're being extra respectful, may is the gold standard. It shows a level of social awareness. It's funny because you rarely hear, might I borrow your pen these days? That sounds like something out of a Victorian novel. Though it is grammatically correct, it's very rare.
I see. So may is the polite choice for permission. Now, what about the past? This is where I see a lot of confusion. If I want to talk about something that was possible yesterday, how do I change these words?
This is a crucial point. To talk about the past, we usually use may have or might have, followed by the past participle. For example, he might have forgotten his keys. This indicates we are speculating about a past event. Interestingly, might is actually the past tense form of may, but we use it more to indicate a conditional or hypothetical situation now.
That reminds me of a funny anecdote from a few years ago. I was traveling in Italy with a friend. We were standing at a bus stop and the bus was 20 minutes late. I said, the bus may have broken down. My friend, who is a bit of a grammar enthusiast, replied, no, Leo, it might have broken down, because if it may have broken down, it implies it's still possible it broke down, but we don't know yet. We ended up having a 20-minute debate about the grammar while waiting. In the end, the bus arrived, so neither was true. The driver had just stopped for an espresso.
That is such a classic travel story. And your friend had a point, though in that context, both would work. But let's look at might have for things that didn't happen. This is the third conditional area. For example, if I had studied harder, I might have passed the exam. You can't really use may there because the opportunity has passed and the outcome is already known to be negative.
That's a very helpful distinction. So might have is for those what-if scenarios that didn't actually happen. What about the negative forms, may not and might not?
They follow a similar logic, but there's a trap with may not. If a teacher says you may not eat in class, that isn't about possibility. That's a prohibition. It means you are not allowed to. However, if I say it may not rain, I'm just saying there is a possibility that it won't rain. You have to look at the context to know if it's a rule or a guess.
Context is king. I also wanted to mention a phrase I hear a lot. May as well or might as well. I used this morning when I realized the bus was going to be late again. I thought, I might as well walk.
That's a fantastic idiom. We use might as well when there is no better alternative, or because the current situation makes a certain action logical. We're already at the mall. We might as well see a movie. It carries a sense of why not?
It's a very common expression in daily life. I find myself saying it at least once a day. Zara, do you have any tips for our listeners to remember when to choose might over may if they want to sound really natural?
My best tip is to use might for almost all spoken possibilities. It's safer and sounds very natural. Use may when you want to be formal or when you are asking for permission. Also, if you're using an if sentence, stick with might. For example, if I win the lottery, I might buy a boat. Saying I may buy a boat there sounds a bit too certain, as if you've already started looking at boat catalogs.
That's interesting. It's like may has a bit more weight to it, a bit more intention, whereas might is light and breezy. Perfect for those maybe moments.
Exactly. And for our listeners, don't stress too much. English speakers break these rules all the time. The goal is to be understood. But as you progress, using may for permission and might for unlikely possibilities will make you sound very sophisticated.
I think we've covered a lot of ground today, from coffee flasks to Italian buses. It's all about expressing that middle ground between yes and no.
It really is. Before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap. May is for permission and higher probability. Might is for lower probability and hypothetical if situations. And might have is for speculating about the past. Does that sound about right, Leo?
Spot on. I think I might. See what I did there? I think I might go and refill my thermos now. All this talk has made me thirsty for more of that perfectly tempered coffee.
Go for it. And for everyone listening, try to use may or might in a sentence today. Maybe tell someone what you might do this weekend. It's the best way to make the grammar stick. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Go Slow English. We hope this deep dive into may and might helps you feel more confident in your daily conversations. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and leave us a review. It really helps us reach more learners like you. We'll be back next week with more tips to help you master English at your own pace. Until then, take care and happy learning. Goodbye for now.
Bye, everyone. See you next time.